Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the webinar for Atrix Abu Dhabi branch in the UAE. Welcome to all of our listeners, all of our audience. My name is Abdul Moeed. I'm the regional manager of Atrix Innovative.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Abu Dhabi webinar for Canada and Australia immigration. This is Halima Binte Amin, Head of Operations and Processing from Abu Dhabi branch.
Welcome to all of you who are listening to us. Welcome to all of you who are interested in getting guidance and counseling for Canada, Australia, and maybe some business programs. If we have the time, we'll discuss it for sure. Atrix Innovative was established in 2015. We are ISO certified, we are ICCRC licensed, and we are MAR registered. You can see our name on the Australia homepage. Let me give you a brief intro. We also deal with visit visa assistance, with study visa assistance, with skilled worker immigration, business investment programs, and we also deal with special cases appeal, and in some cases, we also do post landing services also. Today, I'm going to be discussing with you about the Federal Skilled Worker Program, which is Express Entry Canada. But before all of that, I would like to caution you all that the corona pandemic is still ongoing, and you have to be careful. You've been careful for the last 6 months. You need to be more careful so that this year is closed with the best of health for everyone and everyone is safe and healthy. So do remember that you have to avoid the crowds if you are able to do so. Otherwise, don't go out so much and wash your hands for 20 seconds at least. If you have to cough, if you have to sneeze, use your elbow. And always remember that if you 2020, most of 2020 has passed successfully for you, health in a very good state of health, then there are only 2-3 months left for this year, and hopefully we will all see each other safe and healthy in 2021 also. Okay, we're going to be discussing about Express Entry Canada first. Express Entry Canada is basically a competition-based program, and it's all about ranking you according to your points, according to your profile, which you have uploaded on the Canada portal, which is called Expression of Interest Filing, and AdWorks helps you with all of that. Do remember that the first thing you have to be careful of is that you have to score 67 points out of 100, and once you've done that, you have to remember that the criteria is age, education, experience, adaptability, and language. In some cases, you may have a job offer. In some cases, you may have your spouse who will give you points by doing IELTS and doing CELPIP, or doing some French courses and then giving the test for all of that also. Express Entry Canada was also established in 2015, and it leads to permanent residency, PR visa, for all the candidates who score the relevant CRS score. CRS basically stands for Comprehensive Ranking System. It's a total of 1,200 points, and the merit right now is 471. Okay, Alhamdulillah, even during this pandemic, we have been scoring lots of nominations, lots of ITAs due to our processing experts who have done their hard work, even if they're working from home or they've come to the office. And everything is going very well these days. Okay. Um, I'll be going headfirst into the Express Entry program now. Express Entry program, the first filter that you have to be aware of is that you are not accepted if you don't have 67 points out of 100. So you need to score 67 at least. The criteria is age, education, experience, adaptability, and language. I'll be discussing the age right now. And the age criteria is that if you have an age which is between 18 to 35 years, you score 12 points. If you have 36 years of age, you score 11 points, and 37 scores 10 points, and you lose 1 point for every age that is increased after the age of 35. Okay. Education, for someone who has done 14 years of education, which means like a diploma of 2 years, years after their high school. So that person gets 19 points. If you have 3 years or 4 years bachelor's, you score 21 points. And if you have um, done your master's, you score 23 points. If you have a doctorate or PhD, you score 25 points. Similarly, for experience, if you have 1 year experience, either if you're doing your own job, your own self-employment, or you're doing a job, for 1 year you score 9 points. For 2 to 3 years, you score 11 points, and for 4 to 5 years, you score 13 points, and for 6 years and more, you score 15 points. Okay. I'll be discussing with you about adaptability at a later stage. The first, I'll discuss with you the language. The language module has basically, I'll be discussing about IELTS. You require general IELTS Canada for the program.
Uh, Sir Mohit, your voice is not clear and there's a distortion in your voice. Can you please repeat again?
If you have a listening score of 6 band, then you will get 4 points because you have 6 band each: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Okay. So if you have 6 band in listening, you get 4 points. If you have 4 points for that.
Sir, actually, we cannot hear you. Your voice is not clear. Can you please repeat the IELTS section again?
Okay, I will repeat myself.
Yes, for the IELTS, from the IELTS, sir. It was not clear.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Okay. So I was discussing with you about the language criteria,
Yes.
and in the language criteria, we're discussing IELTS, which have to be done for general training IELTS, and I'm just repeating the IELTS part again. Basically, IELTS is calculated in the initial stage in a different manner when compared to when it's calculated in the CRS calculator. Okay, so for the initial stage, IELTS language score are calculated in the following manner. There are 4 modules. Okay, listening, reading, writing, and speaking. General training IELTS. We'll discuss about the listening part first. If you have 8 band in the listening module, you get 6 points. Okay, I hope everyone is writing this down. Similarly, if you have 7.5 band in listening, you get 5 points. And if you have 6 band in listening, you have 4 points. Okay, so 8 bands you get 5 points, 6 points. For 7.5 band you get 5 points, and for 6 band you get 4 points. Now, reading, writing, and speaking are calculated in the same manner. Okay, it's a similar thing. So I will just discuss about one thing so you can understand that it's the same for writing and speaking and reading. So in the reading module, if you score 7 band, you get 6 points. Similarly, if you score 7 band in writing and speaking, you get 6 points each. Similarly, if you score 6.5 each in reading, writing, and speaking, you get 5 points each. Okay, so if you got 6.5 in reading, you get 5 points. If you got 6.5 in writing, you get 5 points. And if you got 6.5 in speaking, you get 5 points. Similarly, if you score reading, writing, speaking, if you get 6 band each. Then you get 4 points each. So in reading, you got 6 band, you got 4 points. In writing, you got 6 band, you get 4 points. In speaking, you got 6 band, so you get 4 points each. So the maximum points that you can get is 8 in listening, 7 in writing, 7 in reading, and 7 in speaking. And 6 points each means 6 multiplied by 4 is 24 points, is the maximum point that you can get in your IELTS. And the minimum points that you can get is 6, 6, 6, 6 in listening, reading, writing, and speaking, which gives you 4 points each. So 4 times 4 is 16 points. Okay? So I hope everyone has understood the IELTS part. Ms. Nikash, Rashid, and Ms. Rehan, I hope you've all understood this. Also, now I'll be discussing about adaptability. Adaptability is basically if you've previously studied in Canada, or if you've done a job in Canada, or if your spouse can give IELTS with you when you apply for Canadian immigration, you get 5 points. Or if you have a blood relative, or if your wife has a blood relative, and then you can get 5 points more. Basically, adaptability is getting extra points. The maximum points that you can get in adaptability is 10 points. So when I talk about having family in Canada or having blood kin in Canada, then I mean to say is that you and your spouse can have grandparents there, then you get points. You can have your parents who are also there. Okay. You can have a nephew or niece who are there. Okay. And you can have your siblings over there. Then you get points. Just remember, anyone who is your blood kin who is living in Canada has to have either a PR visa or they are citizens of Canada. Okay. So this is the initial criteria, getting 67 points. Now, getting 67 points or more than 67 points does not mean that you get a PR visa. Okay, this is just the initial selection criteria. The next thing we have to do is to upload your profile, which means getting you an equivalency for your education. If you don't have a Canadian education, you need equivalency. Getting equivalency is basically called ECA, which is Education Credential Assessment. Okay, so Education Credential Assessment is getting a report which is usually 2 to 3 pages long, and they let you know, Canadian government lets you know whether your education is equal to their level of standard education. So you may have 4 years of bachelor's, but they might consider it 3 years of bachelor's. Okay. So Adrix Innovative is basically giving you guidance and counseling because there are many bodies in Canada from where you can get your education equivalency. So we basically guide you to the best possible body where you can go. We help you with that. We help you with all the documents that you have to prepare for that purpose. We help you with getting an online appointment, attestation, and so on and so forth. The next thing we have to do is basically upload your IELTS result onto the Canada portal, right? So basically, your IELTS result is valid for 2 years and your ECA report is valid for 5 years. So when you do your IELTS, you have 2 years which it can be valid for. So you have 2 years in which you can try your luck for immigration to Canada. So now that we are done with the ECA and with the IELTS, you also pass the 67 selection criteria. So now we're going to upload your profile, upload your experiences, upload your education, your age proofs, your language results, and everything else. If you have a relative in Canada, or if you had your spouse IELTS result also. So we're going to upload all of that into the system, which Canadian government can see on the Canada Express entry pool. Okay, so this portal, when you upload your documents into this portal, your profile is basically going to um the Kenyan education, Kenyan immigration body, and they start giving you points. And it's an automatic process, and it's judged on the basis of CRS ranking, which is comprehensive ranking system, which is calculated out of 1200 points, and the merit these days is 471. Okay, every month, almost 2 to 3 times, you get a new draw in which people are invited to Canada based on the CRS ranking merit, either going up or going down. For example, a few months ago, this 471 merit was actually at 478. Okay, so now it's down to 471. So the chances are increasing for everyone to get immigration to Canada. And so this is the thing. The criteria for getting 471 points is the same: age, education, experience, adaptability, and language. Okay, but the difference is that now you will not be getting 12 points for your age, or you will not be getting 23 points for your masters, or you will not be getting 15 points for your 6 years. Okay, instead, now you will be getting hundreds of points for your education. You will be getting hundreds of points for your IELTS. You'll be getting 20, 30 points for your spouse IELTS. You'll be getting 20 points for your relative in Canada. So that is the difference. That is how we come to understand that you may get 471 points. Okay. Now, this profile is not only available for those people who get 471 points. Okay, what about those people, those hundreds and thousands of millions of people who get less than 471 points? What about them? What do we do for them? So Atrix Innovative basically helps you out, gives you counseling, gives you guidance on how to get nomination from different provinces in Canada. You know, there are 10 provinces in Canada, 3 territories. So basically, there's a lot of chances for applying directly into the province with the help of Express Entry program, because every province is connected in this program. See, so if you create your Express Entry pool profile and you get a score of, for let's say 400, or you get 300 points, or you get 280 points. So what we do is we give you an option of applying directly, of getting nomination directly from a certain province where your occupation in demand and your job description matches, right? This process is called the Provincial Nominee Program. It is PNP for short. And what happens is that Atrix, even during this pandemic, we have been scoring 5 and 6 in the last 6 months. So almost every month we've been getting 1 or 2 nominations from different provinces. Alhamdulillah, Allah has blessed us, and we have been getting nominations even during this Corona problem. And this is only because of the cooperation of the customers and because of the good knowledge and processing expertise of our processing department. I also do want to mention that the person in the background is my boss, my CEO and managing director, Sir Waqas Riaz, who has trained us, both Miss Halima and I, and who has given us mentoring, who has taught us everything that we are telling you right now, right here. And he has more than 10 to 15 years of experience in this immigration industry. And he is the one who has started this company from day one. And alhamdulillah, we have been going towards the top, mashallah say. Uh, so basically, comprehensive ranking system and PNP. Express entry profile, if it doesn't match the current merit, which is, for example, let's say 471, then you get nomination from different provinces. Now, what our processing people do is that they try to match your job description with some national occupation classification for the different provinces. You have to match the occupation in demand with the different provinces. What they do, uh, is that they try to match the different NOCs, National Occupation Classification, NOCs, according to your job description, and they start to file in those provinces. Okay, for example, some person may be finance manager, some person may be a finance officer, but there is a difference of, let's say, 10% difference in the job duties. Because a finance manager will always be supervising more people. A finance officer is just doing his own work, right? So similarly, an HR executive will be doing her or his own work, and an HR manager will be doing his and her own work, and they will be managing a team of people who are working under them. So we have to be very careful about these technicalities because uh, it happened once that the position of finance manager was saturated. There were so many people applying, and the occupation got saturated and it got closed. It got excluded from the province. So what we did was that we applied that person in the finance officer level. Um, this way, they got a nomination from that province, and there was nothing wrong about doing that because uh, the job duties were the same, except for one or two things, and that can be justified by saying that he has a lot of experience. That person got a lot of experience, and so on and so forth. We've got a few comments. Ms. Sheeny is saying, please guide about IELTS. I've applied through your company. Thank you, Ms. Sheeny. I will do so. Gio Rabera is saying, done, share. Thank you so much, everyone, for being encouraging and motivating both I and Ms. Halima. So I was discussing with you about the PNB and the express entry, about how express entry is linked with all the provinces in Canada, and how if you are not getting your CRS ranking meeting the merit of the CRS score, then what we can do is we can apply you to different provinces and get a nomination there. How can we do that? We can do that by getting you an additional score of 600 points. For example, you're stuck at 280 points. Okay, getting a nomination to another province means that you score 880 points instead. Uh, an addition of 600 points to your score. Okay, so you've already met the merit because the merit is still at 471, right? So this is how we use our processing experts. We get you an ITA, invitation to apply from Canada, and even during this Corona pandemic, we've been scoring a lot of ITAs and a lot of nominations. In a little while, I'll be discussing the success stories with Ms. Halima, and we'll also be sharing the latest news in Canada. What I would like to do is guide Ms. Cheating once again with her IELTS problem. Basically, Ms. Cheating, general IELTS training is basically what you will be attempting for your Canadian immigration in Express Entry Canada Federal Skilled Worker Program. And what will be happening is that you will be scored based on four modules, okay? Listening, reading, writing, and speaking. For example, in the listening module, you got 8 band. So you get 6 points, okay? If in the listening module you got 7.5 band, then you score 5 points. And if in the listening module you get 6 band, you get 4 points, okay? Similarly, in reading, writing, and speaking, if you get 7 band, then only you get 6 points. Okay? Reading 7 band, 6 points. Writing 7 band, 6 points. Speaking 7 band, 6 points. Okay? Similarly, if you get 6.5 band in reading, in writing, and in speaking, then you get 5 points in reading, 5 in writing, and 5 in speaking. Okay? And finally, if you get 6 band in writing, 6 band in reading, and 6 band in speaking, then you get 4 points, and 4 points each in reading, writing, and speaking. IELTS is mandatory only if you get less points in your CRS score, or if you can't meet 67 points out of 100 in your initial selection criteria. Okay, Ms. Nikash? So it is not mandatory, but it's a good thing to know. Okay, Ms. Chiri is saying if one module is less than six, then you have to attempt your IELTS again because Canada does not accept someone who is immigrating to Canada to have six band or less, less than six bands
Yes.
in their IELTS in any module. Okay, so it either has to be six each or it has to be more. IELTS needs to be done before the filing of the case, okay, but it can be done after your initial assessment has been done for your education credential assessment. Okay, first you get your ECA done, then you get your IELTS done. This is the best option. If you get your ECA done, that report is valid for 5 years. Okay, so you have nothing to be scared of, nothing to have any tension about. So you are safe and having a lot of backup, which means 5 years. So that means like 60 months of backup, right? So this is basically a brief outline about Express Entry Canada Federal Skilled Worker Program. If you have any more questions, I'll keep on joining in. Right now, Ms. Halima, the head of operations and processing, will be discussing with you all about the Australian immigration. Yes, Ms. Halima, please continue.
Thank you, Salmood. It was very explanatory and informative session from your side. But may we have success stories for Canada before that, or should I start for Australia?
Yes, sure. Why not? One of the success stories for Canada that we have recently done is basically on the 2nd of September, I believe, but I'll confirm you the date very shortly. You'll be able to see the success stories on our Facebook page and the YouTube session that we have ongoing right now. This is success story is for Canada. It's for Miss Soha. She got her letter of commitment for Canada Startup Visa in just 4 months. Canada Startup Visa is basically a business program. We'll be discussing with you if you feel that you want to know more information about it. Ms. Soha got her letter of commitment, which means that everything is almost done. Now she just has to file her case, and Canada has to give the go ahead. The big problem that everyone faces in startup visa is done and over with. Now we just have to wait for her visa to be pasted. This is Mr. Taimur. He got an ITA, which is a skilled worker program, express entry program, ITA, invitation to apply from Mr. Taimur, and we got it on the 2nd of September. Yes, I have a good memory. So is now going to process his case, simply file his case in the embassy, and we
Sir,
will be
yes,
getting
sorry,
his
I'm just
visa pasted on his passport, inshallah.
sorry, I'm disturbing you between, but the story is not showing on
Similarly,
screens.
Ms. Yusra also got her IT on the same day um, for federal skilled worker category in the express entry program. And again, very short period of time, just 4 months, I think, 4 or 5 months, she got her ITA, alhamdulillah. So these are just few success stories that I'm sharing with you. Yes, ma'am.
Sir, the stories are not showing on the screens. We are not able to see the story.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Yeah.
Another success story is for Canada is Mr. Esteban, and he's got nomination from Saskatchewan for occupation demand category. His knock was 3234, and it's paramedical occupation. He got it within 2 months. by our expert processing express entry filing team, and we got it possible again in the pandemic because of hard work. And they say a little progress each day adds up to big results.
Yeah, I just
Okay.
want to add a little bit this
Abu Dhabi
question.
branch is basically
Can you hear me, sir?
okay. We will show this again in a little while. Right now, I just want to repeat that Abu Dhabi office is located at office number 601, sixth floor, Bin Hamuda Tower near Al Noor Hospital, Khalifa Street, Abu Dhabi, UAE. And the landline number is 971-2622-991. Now, why don't we continue with the Australian presentation with Miss Halima? Yes, Miss Halima, please start. Please.
Thank you, sir. Actually, I just want to add a one point here regarding the story of Esteban, that we have received this nomination on occupation of paramedical and the lowest IELTS of 5.5. So here I can connect this answer with the question of Miss Shireen. I believe she asked regarding that if she cannot get the IELTS 6, so they will accept or not. So Miss Shireen, we can go for nomination as well if you will have the IELTS less than 6. So we can go for nomination as well, as Sir Mohit has explained that if your scores are not able to touch the CR score, so we can go for the nomination option as well. So as we have a history that we got the nomination for Mr. Esteban with the lowest IELTS of 5.5. So if you have less than 6, so we can go for the nomination of Saskatchewan as well. Okay, so definitely it's a requirement for federal, but we can go for nomination with the IELTS of less than 6. Yeah, I hope Ms. Shireen you got my point. So let's come to the uh, Australia skilled immigration.
Okay,
Okay, so we will, yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Mr. Sher Niazi is saying general training IELTS. What is the requirement for primary and secondary candidate? So the thing is that the secondary candidate, which you mean is the spouse, basically needs to get 5 band or maybe 4.5 band in every module, and the primary applicant needs to get a score which is at least 6 band, but we will give you the exact score that you require once you come to our office for your assessment, which is free of charge. Okay. uh, Miss Halima, Miss Chiri is saying that I'm done with IELTS. It's 7.5, 6.5, 6.5, and 5 band.
Okay,
So
Ms.
Miss,
Shireen, yes, sir.
please continue, ma'am.
Yeah. Ms. Shireen, you can share the score and share your resume as well with your representative in the branch if you applied in Abu Dhabi. So please share your details so we can make your assessment for Saskatchewan as well, and we can check that your occupation is available and we can go for Saskatchewan or not. And your EC as well if it's been completed now, so we can check the equivalency as well, that what will be the points for Saskatchewan if you are qualifying over there.
Right, and Ms. Shirin, I hope you understood that you need to share your resume and your IELTS result with Ms. Halima. You can do that by sharing your contact number with us. More than 100 consultants in the company, and we can get your case assessed very soon. Or you can share your email address with us on the comments page, and we can get you an email very soon by the end of the day and guide you appropriately. Ms. Salima, you may continue with the Australian immigration
Sure, sir.
presentation.
Sure, sir. So let's come to the Australia skilled migration. In Australia, for skilled migration, we have three categories of subclass visas. So we will explain you how you will get the permanent residency and what will be the alternative option to get the ITA from um, to get the permanent residency of Australia. So there are three categories of visas in Australia. That's called subclass 189. That's skilled independent visa, in which you will get directly permanent residency. Second, the subclass is 190. That is skilled nomination visa, in which you will get the nomination if you are not qualifying or your points are less. So we will go for nomination. Third is 491. That is regional state nomination visa, in which you will get the TRP. That will be for 4 years. So we will start from the first category, that is 189, in which you will get the permanent residency, and you will get all the social benefits, including your Medicare, education, your allowances, and baby care expenses. All you will get on it, and in which you will get the work and study anywhere in Australia. You can sponsor your relatives for the permanent residency, and you can apply as well for citizenship once you will complete the criteria of permanent residency to be eligible for the citizenship of Australia. And one benefit on this permanent residency of Australia, you can travel to New Zealand as well, and if you will get the citizenship, so you can work in New Zealand as well. For the second category, 190, that is skilled nomination visa. It's also, you will get the permanent residency but through nomination, and in which you will have the same eligibility. You can work and study in Australia, in anywhere, and you can sponsor your relatives for permanent residency, and you can apply your citizenship. The difference of comes in 491, in which you will get the TRP for 4 years, and you have to complete your 2 years in the region from which you will get the nomination. Okay, so for 491, you have to live, work, and study in that region, and then you can apply for permanent residency after completing 2 years in that region. So then, now we will come for the point based system, same like Canada, in which you will get 67 points, so you are eligible to apply for Canada skilled immigration. For Australia, you have to complete 65 points to be eligible for skilled migration in these three categories of visa. So first is your education. If you have diploma, if you have degree, or what will be happen if you have PhD. So if you have diploma, so you will get 10 points, or if you have degree, bachelor's and master's, you will get 15 points, and if you have PhD, so you will get 20 points.
Okay, ma'am.
Next is, yes sir.
Ms. Najam Kiani is saying that please repeat for family sponsorship.
Okay, for family sponsorship, if you will get the permanent residency of Australia, so once you will be there, you can sponsor your family, means your sister, your brother, your parents, your spouse, and your kids. You can sponsor them to get the permanent residency for Australia. I hope you get your answer, but still, if you have any query, you can send an email to us. You can call on the number that is mentioned on the screen. Okay, so let's continue from here. For age, you have a slabs. Okay, first is, if your age is 18 to 24, you will get 25 points. If you are from 25 to 32, so you will get 30 points. If you are on 33 to 39, then again you will get 25 points. The last slab, if you will be on 40 to 44, you will get 15 points. So there are different slabs on the age that's mentioned. I will repeat again. If you are on 18 to 24 or 33 to 39, you will get 25 points. So highest score you will get if you are on 25 to 32, you will get 30 points. And the lowest score is on 15, that is on 40 to 44 age, you will get 15 points. Now let's come to experience. If you have experience outside of Australia, and if it's inside, like if you're working in Australia. So there are different points over both of the categories. So let's discuss first for the overseas of work experience. That starts from 3 years. If you have 3 years of experience, so you will get 5 points. If you have 5 years of experience, you will get 10 points. And if you have 8 years of experience, you will get 15 points. And if you have Australian work experience of minimum 1 year, if you work before in Australia, in any region, in any state, for 1 year, you will get 5 points. For 3 years, if you will work, so you will get 10 points. If you have worked for 5 years, you will get 15 points. And maximum points you will get 20 if you have worked 7 years in Australia before. So you will get 20 points on the work experience. These are the main credentials: your age, your education, and your experience. So let's discuss the adaptability points, how you will get the more points to complete your 65 points. If your spouse is going to have the English test, the language test, okay, so you will get 5 points on this for the partner skills. If your spouse is going to have the English language test, or she is going to have a skill assessment for his or her occupation, so you will collectively get 10 points. Okay, and if you will appear in a language test, that's called a Nati test. In Nati, you will have different languages, and you have to appear in that test, like Arabic, French, Urdu. You are having different languages over there. If you will appear in that test and you will complete or you pass test, so you will get the 5 points extra. Okay, so definitely we have to complete the points with the criteria of 65. Okay, but these are the points you have to get if you are not completing your 65 points of minimum eligibility. After this, we will come to the English test, the IELTS, in which you have to appear for general IELTS, and it can be IELTS, it can be TOEFL, it can be PTE. Okay, you can appear in that. So minimum band, we need 6 band, but you will get a 0 point on it. The next band is 7, straight 7 band. If you will get 10 points. Straight means listening 10, speaking 10, listening 7, speaking 7, reading 7, writing 7. So you will get 10 points. If you will go for 8 band, straight 8 means listening, speaking, reading, writing, each 8, so you will get 20 points. Now, the criteria of 6 band, that is equivalent to 0 point. That means either you are not getting any points of on the band of 6, but means is if you are completing your 65 points from your other credentials like your age, your education, your experience, your adaptability points. So if you will appear with IELTS with 6 bands, so that is will comes your proof of your language, but if they are not getting, you are not getting any point on it. But in case you are not completing 65 points, you are losing with 5 points or you are losing with 10 points, so you have to appear with IELTS with the band of 7, means each 7, so you will get 10 points. Okay, next I have that is a criteria of 189 permanent residency eligibility of 65 points. Suppose you are not getting the points. Yes, sir.
Mr. Jimmy Khan is saying, Mr. Mohit and Ms. Halima, good day. I just joined and wanted to confirm, is today's session of discussion on Australian immigration only or Canadian immigration? Actually, we've done with Canadian immigration discussion, but if you want, you can get your free assessment done right now. I'll be able to give you an assessment. You just need to give me your age, education, experience, whether your spouse will give IELTS with you or not, whether you have any relatives in Canada, and your language scores if you've done any. Otherwise, you can see on our YouTube or Facebook page of Abu Dhabi again once we are done with the session, and you can watch it on repeat after we're done with the session. Thank you so much, Mr. Jimmy Khan, for joining us. Please stay tuned. Ms. Halima, please continue.
Sure, sir. Uh, we were discussing for 189, now we will discuss for 190. For 190, the criteria will be the same one, but in that you are getting the extra points. If you are not completing your points for 189, suppose you're losing with 5 points, so we can go for 190 to get the nomination. And to getting the nomination from any of the territory or state, you will get 5 points of extra. Suppose you are losing with 5 points, if 60 points right now from your age, your education, your experience, your language, your adaptability points. So we will go for nomination to get your 5 points extra to make you eligible to get your case file. Okay, so next category is 491 that we have discussed is state and regional state nomination, that is 491, and that will gives you 15 points extra if you are not completing your points and you're losing with 15 points or 10 points. So we will go for 491 to get the nomination, and nomination will give you 15 points extra to make you eligible for your case filing. So that is the point criteria system for Australia's skilled migration. So now let's come to the process for Australia. That's the first step, like the phase one, you can say, is skill assessment for Australia. For the skill assessment, we have to get your all experiences proof, if you have worked for 3 years or 5 years or for 6 years, or either you have worked in Australia before. So as per your occupation that we choose, as per your experience, we have to get all your experience to be verified, okay, for the skill assessment. So skill assessment means your skills will be verified from the body as per the occupation. There are different bodies to get your skill assessment. So we will choose the body and we have to get the verification of your skills. For once we have done the skill assessment, we have to go for the language test, that is IELTS, TOEFL and PT. You can go any of these to get the bands. Once we have your skill assessment report, once we will have your IELTS report, we will go for case filing. If you are completing 65 points, we will directly file your case for 189 directly for the PR. If you are losing with the points of 5, so we have to go for 190 to get the nomination and to get the extra points. Like in Canada, sir explained, if you are not completing the CRS score, so we can go for the nomination to get the 600 points. Same in Australia, if you are not completing the points for 189, so we will go for nomination or regional state nomination to get the extra points and to be your case filed. So once the case is filed, we have to wait for your ITA. After getting nomination, you will file your case, and once you will get the ITA invitation to apply, so we will proceed further for the visa filing. Okay, so these point criteria system, you will make an assessment if any one of you are interested, so you can have the assessment right now from us. We are online here. If you have any query regarding the points of any credentials like age, yes sir.
Excuse me, ma'am. Ms. Spica is saying that I listened that more children are difficult to get Canadian immigration.
Children.
Yes. So if you have more children, basically what she wants to know is that if you have more children, then Canadian immigration is difficult for you.
No, sir, it's not a difficult because in Canadian immigration, we have a point-based system. If you are completing the points, and you will get the ITA invitation to apply, that is proof of your eligibility. So there is no restrictions if you have more children, either 1, 2 or 5. It never affect your profile.
Okay, they want to know if we help to get experience certificates from employer.
Yes, sir, we do help
Pakistani
with.
employer.
Yes, sir, we do help for the format for the template. Like we can provide the template, like what we need for your employment certificate. So we can provide you that template that, sir, this information we have to get from your employer. Okay, and you can get that experience certificate according to the template we provide.
Right, Ms. Fika, basically what happens is that we help you with getting the experience certificate in the right template that is acceptable to the immigration department. But what happens is that there are sometimes some alternate solutions that we can offer you instead of the experience certificates if you're having problems with your employer. So I hope that answers this question. Mr. Shahzad is saying, can you please explain Canada Express entry system and points system? Thank you. Mr. Shahzad, I've already done with the Canadian immigration explanation. That can be reviewed by you when this recording will be available on the Facebook page and the YouTube channel. You can just view it as soon as you log in after we're done with this session. I hope you can listen to the Australian immigration uh, summary until then. Yes, Ms. Halima, please continue.
Yes, sir. So I was discussing regarding the points of Australia, and all the process has been done. So if there is any question of any of the applicants, so don't hesitate to call us on the number on the screen, that is 9712 622 991. You can visit our office in Khalifa Street, Bin Hamouda Tower, 601. Or if you will send us an email to atwix info.atwix.com, so we will reply your queries.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Shahzad. You will watch it again. And she guided you all about the different types of immigration, how you can get a PR visa, how you can get a TRP, and so on and so forth.
So we have a
Why not
question
we
again from Ms. Faika.
discuss a little bit about the Canadian immigration news?
I believe there's an internet issue over there. So Ms. Faika, we
Continue.
can again request your question. That your question was,
Yes.
like,
Her first question was that I heard that more children are difficult to get Canadian immigration.
yeah, as we replied, Ms. Faika, that the Canadian immigration is based on your points eligibility, and if you will get the ITA or nomination from any province or federally, so there is no restriction and there is no effect of your more children on your profile. If you are qualifying for the ITA according to your points, so they welcome to all of your family to get the permanent residency.
Right, Ms. Fak, I hope you understand that basically nothing affects your immigration except your points. Okay, so you may have four children, five children, or even one child, and the only thing that matters is the points which you get on the CRS, and that should meet the merit. Nothing else matters for your Canadian immigration. Right, ma'am, please continue.
Yes, sir, we were proceeding to the newses
Right,
for Canada.
okay. Um, One of the latest news for Canadian immigration is that Canada is offering emergency relief benefit for everyone who is a PR holder, a temporary foreign worker, and you are those families are getting $500 per week for 4 months, which comes to $2,000 a month and $8,000 in 4 months. Okay, and this is through their program, which is initiated by CERB. Okay, Canada has also eased their travel restrictions for families, uh, and this is allowing compassionate travel. Okay, so if you want to meet your spouse or if you want to meet your children who are stuck in another country and unable to meet you because of the pandemic, then they are easing these restrictions and they can start entering the country after October 8th.
Right.
Okay, similarly, Some recent draws were done, and a very huge amount of people were welcomed by Quebec, okay, one of the provinces in Canada, very French-speaking province, and they have
Yeah.
given 365 invitations, and this is very good news for everyone who is interested in Canadian immigration to Quebec.
Yeah, they have already good news for those. Those are on study permit and work permit. Those applicants, students applied for study permit and work permit. Now they are allowing them to travel to Canada, and they can apply their web form and they can claim their study permit and work permit to travel to Canada right now. So this is a good news for those as well, because previously they were not allowing for the study permit, those who have in their LOAs in their hand, but they cannot travel to Canada. But right now they can claim their permits and they can travel to Canada. As per the draws, sir, you have mentioned, so there is a biggest draw as well for the British Columbia. That was largest draw in 2020, and they released 450 ITAs on 29 September for the applicants. And the latest draw of express entry was on 30 September, as you mentioned before. 471 was the CRS score, and they issued 4,200 issued ITS to 4,200 applicants in the pool. And right now, collectively, they issued ITs of 78,350 to the express from the express entry to the federal applicants.
Right.
Yeah.
Another news is for all those film producers, film directors, that foreign TV and film workers are eligible for priority processing of their application, and such people are eligible for getting TRVs, temporary residence visa, and they will be offered processing of 14 days so that they can get their job done in Canada for their films and television and anything else that they related to film industry. Um, in other news, more than 56,000 people have been given study permits in the first stage. Canadian Immigration Minister recently gave a news, Marco Mendocino, that 56,000 study permits were approved in the first stage. Also, um, some Canadian immigration applicants may not be required biometric information. IRCC, which is the Immigration, Refugee and Citizenship Canada, has previously not been known to allow any non-biometric application to be processed, but now, as long as they have submitted their biometrics in another application within the last 10 years, then they don't need to give another biometric application. Right there. Um, Ontario will also be starting an EOI-like processing system, which is used by Express Entry Program. EOI stands for um, EOI stands
Expression of
for Expression of
expression of
Interest,
interest.
and Ontario will also be utilizing that same manner of procedure for any applications that come directly to them for processing of their provincial nomination. Ms. Faika saying thank you, got that. Ms. Salima, do you want to say anything else?
He said, from my side, it's already been done. I just want to include one thing, that today's session that we are doing over here, I would like to pay my good regards and thanks to our boss, that he already trained us and he trained us well. And that is because of him that we are sitting here and guiding the people regarding their queries and process. And we are looking forward for his support for further future.
Thank you so much, ma'am Halima, for such nice words. Uh, Ms. Selina Mintemin, Head of Department of Operations and Processing. My name is Abdul Moeed. I'm the Regional Manager of Ethics. And today was a webinar for Australia and Canada immigration. We are looking forward to all of you sharing your contact details, emails, and phone numbers. Uh, you can see our phone numbers on our webpage, on our Facebook page. I would like to repeat that Abu Dhabi branch is located at office number 601, 6th floor, Bin Hamuda Tower, near Al Noor Hospital, Khalifa Street, Abu Dhabi, UAE, and the landline number is 07, 071 not two six
Nine.
double two triple nine one. Okay. Um, we will see you again very soon, inshallah, with
Inshallah.
processing experts from the UAE, Ms. Halima, and myself from Pakistan. And I'm looking forward to all of your comments about the session, about your phone numbers, so that we can give you guidance because we have more than 100 consultants in all of our branches. Atrix, mashallah, has 6 branches all over the world in the UAE, Pakistan, in Islamabad, Rawalpindi, Lahore, Faisalabad, Sialkot, and I'm looking forward to seeing all your comments. Thank you so much, Ms. Salima. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you so
Assalamu
much.
alaikum. Goodbye.
Walaikum
Have a
salam.
great day.
Take care. Have a great day, everyone.